see how we start. We have our first session here, Remco de Kramer from Microsoft and Tonny Siemons from Enreach. Welcome, gentlemen. Remco, I'd like to start with you. Microsoft, hybrid working, this is your space, right? So, in 30 seconds. What is hybrid working? And what does it mean for, let's say, where we are now and how work and life is coming together?
Well, hybrid work means you can work from the place you want to, and that's the place you work. You do your best work. It can either be from home or the office or a combination of both. But it also means working at your own time. So that's defined by asynchronous work. So not be together and work at the same time, but distribute the work at different times. So that's what hybrid work means, and it proves an opportunity for everybody to work more efficiently.
Yeah.
That's perhaps interesting to really dive into that one, because when you say you can do it at your own time, how do you set the boundaries of your work? Because we're used to working 9 to 5, at least many people are.
Yeah.
But now when you say it's in your own time, when does it stop?
Yeah, I did some research on hybrid work actually, and I found the first theory was released in 1988. So it was a long time ago when hybrid work did definitely not take off. But today it has taken off because of the massive adoption of collaboration technologies and the massive adoption of working from home. So managing boundaries is critical to survive, even because work will go on and on and on. Yeah. And the ability to do that has become really important. Fortunately, there are tools that help you with that. For example, it is key that you turn off all the notifications when your family time starts, so that you can really do one or the other. But combining your private life and combining work is absolutely killing for sustainable productivity and also joy in your life.
Should it be enforced? Like in France, they're discussing laws of shutting down all your communication after a certain time?
I think it should. Not by the government, but by companies. So, for example, what companies can do actually, but don't do today, is that there is a policy that the notifications will stop, for example, after 5 o'clock. And company IT departments can easily configure this for the entire organization, that all notifications in Teams and Outlook stop. And if you don't agree with that, you can change it as an individual, but the default setting is that it stops. So I don't see that happening. Instead, the default setting today is that notifications are always on. So companies are not intentional and not deliberate about this. And this should change.
Tonny, in the previous conversation we talked a lot about IT and telecoms coming together, right? And that's what we're talking about, collaboration. Work is now always everywhere, online, remote. How do you see that really merging now, these two worlds? And where are we transitioning with this way of working?
I think two things. Maybe to add a little bit to what Remco was saying. I think I completely agree what you guys are saying, what you are saying. I think the only thing about hybrid working is also something I would like to add, that it's setting your personal boundaries is also a personal thing. And I think a lot of people nowadays, because you're all the day on, they also start realizing maybe they don't like their job. Right? The remark sometimes, if you do what you like, you never have to work anymore. I think that's really an important first step, and I think so that's a personal thing also. You can enforce it, you can help people a little bit, but at the same time you should also, it's a personal thing which people should solve themselves. And I think looking at our company, we have possibilities, for example, to have a fixed number on your mobile. When you're on holiday, you can switch it off and it goes to a colleague. So that's also solutions, of course, where you can help people. And then regarding your remark where the worlds are coming together, yeah, we are talking about this, I think, for 20 years or 10 years already. So I think it's still a challenge. I think now, because of Teams, you see it coming together a little bit. I think in a good way, because in the past, you saw a lot of people working all day in Outlook, being behind their email. And they had their separate telephony system where they were using to call. What I realized, and I talked yesterday with you on the phone, Rob, about is also that the fact that now I'm working all the day in, let's say, Teams, which is a communication platform. I see that I'm also changing my way of working. So it seems like I'm calling people easier than I'm sending emails. And like yesterday I came at the airport and I stopped, and normally I would 1 hour do my emails.
Right.
And what I did now was 1 hour calling people and sending chats. And that is, my opinion, makes it more efficient. And regarding your answer, do the two worlds come together? Yes, because in the past it was two separate systems, and now it's one system. Yeah. And
so in a way, it creates more liberty to people on how they want to work.
Yeah, but also liberty, but also I think the tools which you are working the most in during the day, and the, let's say, the functionalities which those tools bring, makes your way of working clear. So if you only have a possibility to send an email, the tool you're in, you send emails. Oh. If you have the opportunity to call, then you start calling people. So I think there is also an interesting thing. And I'm seeing this changing now, even with myself, the way I'm changing how to work.
I love your example, by the way, of giving people a fixed phone number. Because what we see today is that companies need to enable their people to segregate, to take charge of their communications and how they reach them. If you use your private phone number for business communications, calls will always reach you, regardless of you're on holiday or if you have taken a day off to play with your kid. No. But if you give a person a fixed number for business use, and, for example, connect that to Microsoft Teams, it's turned off automatically after work hours. Or maybe if you don't work for the Wednesday, for example, it's turned off as well. Yeah. So you need to give people the tools to make the separation between work and live communications happen.
And then how do you manage that? Because, I mean, from a customer perspective, we're let's say a little bit spoiled that everything's always on 24/7. I can order things.
We're focused on this also,
and so I have your fixed number and I want to call it. So you do need to make sure that somebody else is answering it, and that so you have a 24/7 society. But at the same time, we say no. For people, we need to be limiting, let's say, the amount of time that they can be hassled.
Maybe one thing I would like to add on this, because within Enreach we are like a decentralized organization. We have holacracy there. And there is more that people themselves make decisions what they do and when they work. So I completely agree that it's nice to set boundaries for employees and to make it as a default setting. But I think at the end, it's all about the people themselves who need to take charge themselves about how they work. Because, for example, I love what I'm doing. And I don't care that people call me on my private number or I don't need this separation. But I know some people need it, and I think it's a nice solution. But I think in general it starts with a more deeper question, is that people should do what they like and do it at the moment they have the energy to work. Because that's also, I think, we learned because of COVID, you know. A lot of people are not so efficient maybe in the morning. They're more efficient in the evening. Yeah, let's work when you have energy. Sometimes when I'm tired, I just go rest or go to the gym or something like that. And I know maybe I miss a meeting then, but later I will be more efficient.
We see this in our telemetry data as well. It's anonymous data, but we see how Microsoft 365 is being used. And there's now like the new theory about the triple peak workday, which is being confirmed by the telemetry. So previously there used to be 2 peaks during the day, but there's now a 3rd peak, and that's in the evening between 8 and 9 o'clock.
Interesting.
When a massive amount of people log on again to do work.
So HR people should be getting a mix of people who are morning people and who are evening people, and then we have a 24/7 support of the customer base in that sense.
I think that's a quite interesting thing to look at. You see that with a lot of services. We have some resellers who are focused on doctors, for example. And doctors sometimes have quite strict times of working. They're working from 8 until 5. And I'm a guy, I want to go to the doctor in the evening. And I know a few friends, they are doctors, and they say, I would love to also work in the evening. So, in a lot of industries, there's a lot of, let's say, transformation to be done. And I think it starts with that. And of course, it also starts with clear goals. People having clear goals, because of course you also need to be effective, of course, at the end. Yeah. That's also, I think, a big challenge in companies. They don't know what people actually are doing and what they need to do, and then it's really hard. And then the only way to manage them is saying you need to work from 8 to 5.
Great. We need to round up.
There's a lot to do. It's clear that we're only at the start of all this. I think it's really exciting what's happening, and thank you very much for shedding your light on this. And look forward to the next time we talk 1 or 2 years from now to see where we ended up then, because I think it's a great journey.
Which tools we are working on.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.